I'm back. I'm doing pretty well. I have arms. They move pretty good. Um, Most of you know why I haven't made, or some of you, I guess not most of you, know why I have not made a video in 3 months. For those of you who don't, and the ones who do and maybe would like a few answers, I'm going to try to, as quickly as possible, catch us up to speed and start making videos again. So I was involved in a relatively significant accident 10 weeks ago. A powerboat, um, well, let's say the date was April 1st. Let's back up and give a few more details. The date was April 1st, and I worked on my sunfish all day. And by the evening, I was hungry and tired. So I got on my inflatable in an attempt to go to the yacht club and get dinner. I had a headlight facing forward and no stern light. This is what most cruisers jump on their dinghies every night and travel with, is a headlight facing forward. And for so many years I have thought, oh, this is sufficient. I will eat my words, I was proven wrong. So what took place is as I traveled from Christmas Cove in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, to the yacht club in St. Thomas across semi-open water, a powerboat that had no lights, mind you, zero lights, there was no visibility from the peripheral at all, approached us from behind. And by the time I had any indication, hearing it, to look back and see it, it was there, it was on top of us. There was really no time to respond. I believe I made an attempt to respond, but it was not successful. According to my passenger, that thank God just came out with scrapes and bruises and is ended up quite well considering. The powerboat, which was estimated to be a 27 to 30 foot walk around center console or cuddy cabin, is not a small vessel, struck me directly in the back, breaking two of my ribs, and one of them punctured my lung. The arm that I was driving with, the shoulder was dislocated, and the elbow was inverted and sprained. There's quite a bit of scarring there, and it's quite weird. It's not as strong as it should be, but it is moving, as you can see very well. I had quite a bit of time where I had no range of motion. It was very difficult, no strength. But it's coming back, so I'm coming back. And due to the collapsed lung or punctured lung, I was rushed to the emergency room where they inserted a tube into my chest, which is not an experience I would wish upon my worst of worst of worst enemies. It was an awful experience, but they cut a hole in your side and put the tube in to help expand the lung, which I did end up with after being hit by a boat. An anchor scar, or tattoo almost, if you will. It's just too perfect. I don't know what doctor puts an anchor in the side of somebody's chest after they've been hit by a boat, but suppose I earned that badge. So I spent 6 days with a tube in my chest in the hospital, not really able to move much because everything was very sore, very terrible. Not fun. There was, like I said, I did get a CAT scan and an MRI. There's no head impact. My video that I posted that was super scatterbrained was just the life that I lived for the following 2 months of the accident, trying to digest, trying to figure out how that happened, how it took place. You know, I'm sure a lot of us that have been in car accidents kind of live in that moment. So I took a hiatus from a lot of things, work and YouTube, which was very necessary to focus on myself and to kind of get back in the right train of thought, to start moving forward in life and start getting back to hopefully motivating some of you, because I know that I get a lot of love mail that you enjoy that. So we're going to get back on that page. I have notes because there's a lot to cover here. So let's see, we did damages, we did recovery, light safety. Goodness gracious, guys. I started and I said that I jumped on the dinghy with a headlight. A headlight. a lot of us jump on the dinghy with a Lucy light. We jump on the dinghy with something, but it's not the actual red, white, and green markers indicating where we are going and letting other vessels know that might not have lights on where we are. This is the biggest thing I can stress in this, because yes, I had a light, but it was not the proper light. I know from habit and living out here on the water, and a lot of you know who are on boats right now, you jump on the dinghy every night and you go to shore with a headlight or an insufficient light. Do not do it. It is not safe. Don't live my experience. And in fact, I'm very, very, very lucky to have spent 6 days in the hospital with a tube in my chest and the last 3 months recovering, because a week after my accident, there was someone hit by a powerboat in Grenada. They were not so lucky. They were found the next day, and that was their last adventure. They're just here in BVI. There was a gentleman without his lanyard attached, and he had a submerged mooring ball, and he went overboard, and the dinghy came back around, and that was also his last adventure. So I can't express safety enough. I always motivate everyone to live wild and free and do everything and just go ham and jump off that cliff in the water and go sailing and be smart about things. You get on a motorcycle, you put a helmet on. You get on a dinghy, you use lights and you use a lanyard. Please, please, I want everyone to get out here, and I want them to do this, and I want them to do it successfully. So let's learn something from this, and let's not have anybody else in the hospital with tubes and chests. In the other events, oh my goodness, yes, also, after my accident, obviously I have not worked in 3 months. I've been trying to get everything back, and last week was my first 3 days back to work, and it felt amazing. In those 3 months, things would have been very tough, but Katie, a wonderful friend of mine, made a GoFundMe, and I know a lot of you guys put a little bit into that, and I cannot thank you enough. That has absolutely saved me. Really, I'm so touched. I can't believe how amazing all that came together. It gave me the ability to buy a new dinghy. My old dinghy was destroyed, and to get parts for my parts engine so I could get it running, and to be able to heat and get it pay people to bring me things. I had tons of friends who helped out, but I also feel the need to help out as well, and that was one of the most touching and helpful things, and I would have never in a million years thought that there would have been so much help there. So sincerely thank you, and honestly, if you're just watching this YouTube channel, you have helped me, because there is small little pennies that go into a pot, and this is a monetarily beneficial thing. So thank you very much, and hopefully you're getting as much out of it as I am. In the other events, over the last 3 months since you have seen me, we have, when it rains, it pours. So 3 weeks after my accident, and the one and only warning the hospital gave me upon leaving was, do not get on a plane. That also includes do not dive. Nothing with pressure that could recollapse a lung. On Easter Sunday, I called my grandparents to say Happy Easter, and I was informed that my grandfather was removed from dialysis the day before. What this usually means is that they have 7 to 10 days left. My grandfather was given 3 days because of his condition, and I was told this Easter Sunday in a situation where I could not even get on a plane and go say bye. Something we expected for a long time, so I'm honestly very happy he's in a better place, but it was very difficult. I got to talk to him, and that was nice. And so I spent 3 days, talking to him on the phone as much as possible, and that's all I could do. In the week or two after that, I had a friend who was sailing to South Carolina, and my little wheels started turning, that, well, maybe if I got on the sailboat, I could get to South Carolina and I could at least see my grandmother. So I, a few weeks later, did this. I jumped on a 72-foot sailboat, which I have some footage, and I will, when I get to editing, put some of this footage in there. Beautiful, amazing sailboat. Sailed all the way up to South Carolina, or will. Okay, we were supposed to sail to South Carolina. Plans changed. We, because of a little bit of mechanical difficulties and stuff, stopped in the Bahamas and then in Florida. So I rented a car in Florida and drove to South Carolina and spent a couple wonderful days with my grandmother. Just hanging out and catching up and talking and doing some of those things that, you know, we all put off too much. But you've got to make time because one day you don't have time anymore. That's why I'm out here living like crazy, because one day we won't have time anymore, so you've got to do it now. It's always the point. We're always going to get back to that. In my sail to South Carolina, however, I thought I was going to be productive and I was going to make a YouTube video for you guys and catch you up to speed and do some editing. So I took my laptop, this laptop, and when I turned my laptop on to edit, that's what I found. So I now have no laptop. I didn't have a laptop. I took the option. I don't know what happened to it. I assume it's got either something dropped on it, kicked. Your guess is as good as mine. But I took the opportunity while being in the States to go ahead and upgrade, and I did purchase a MacBook. Of all things, I'm told it's the best editing computer that there is, which I'm finding comical in my beginning of this, because as the best editing computer, it has no SD card drive. So I can't take the SD card out of the GoPro and pop it in there. I have to buy an adapter for this, and an adapter for that, and an adapter for whatever. So I've done that. Those things are in the mail. They're in transit. My hard drive would not plug into the MacBook because it was for a PC. And so I've had the hard drive formatted, and it is running with the MacBook now. I can get some of my footage, but I can't get the stuff off the SD card. I've done a couple projects on the boat. The battery bank, covered them extensively, so I have a lot of really great footage there. And I need to learn how to use this MacBook now and put it all together for you. And hopefully orchestrate that into something wonderful. I don't know. But I'm trying to think if I need to touch base on any other. I made notes, like I said. With the broken laptop, it's sailing to the Carolinas, speed plan, homework, projects, departure. So I guess last but not least, other than a little bit of footage from here in St. Thomas, some great spear fishing footage, and some great spinnaker flying footage, and some great project footage, and also a little bit about how I live and work here, and I need to get to telling you all about that. So those episodes will be coming up. My current plans for another adventure right now at the end of the season will be heading back south to Grenada. Getting the boat ready, just about there. So hopefully in the next few weeks I will have a little bit of crew flying in, possibly, and I will be setting sail south and doing lots of footage and not working and relatively healed. So I always say I'm going to get back on track and make regular videos, but it's going to happen. I've got a bigger, better computer. I'm making upgrades and taking this a little bit more seriously this season. And yeah, I hope that you guys are all doing wonderful out there. You're living your own adventures. I do apologize for leaving you hanging a long time. I did get a lot of emails and messages from people that were concerned and wanted updates. And I've told this story so many times, I'm sure you can imagine, that I just didn't want to individually tell it a million more times. So I believe that covered everything. The events, the repercussions, the lights. Use lights and lanyards. Use these things, people. Other than that, have a great day. I don't believe I'm missing anything. But as soon as I turn this off, I'm sure I'll think of something and I'll put it in the next episode for you.